Hi YouTubers, Richard here. Welcome to my Engage Antics series of videos about using Arduino with model railways. I'm in the process of preparing my second layout in Engage, and I plan to use Arduinos for controlling points, signals, turntables, level crossings and so on. And by way of introduction, I thought I'd describe my DCC experience so far and why I think Arduinos are interesting. I'm making this video because I find nothing about this sort of stuff in the magazines, and whilst there is a lot of information on the forums, it's a little bit disjointed and difficult to follow. Incidentally, if you're not interested in the background piece, then I should proceed immediately to the nitty-gritty in episode 2. Like many people, I decided to buy a train set to start my layout, so I bought this Dapol DCC Flying Scotsman set, which comes with a Flying Scotsman, an oval of trap, 3 carriages, and a GaugeMaster Prodigy Express DCC controller. This is actually made by MRC, the Model Rectifier Corporation. It's a great name, isn't it? And branded as GaugeMaster in this country. It's a starter DCC, so it's not fully featured. The system comes with this plug-in handheld controller. It certainly works for controlling trains, and it's, for the money, I think, a very good solution. There's a couple of things that you can't do, and you quickly come up against that. The first one is that you can't control any accessories. That means that you can't, for example, open and close points using DCC with this controller. And the other issue I had with it was that it's only got, I think, 15 function buttons. And when you start using sound locomotives, you find that the sound sets can often extend to 24 or 26 different sounds. And it's also very difficult to know which sound is on which F button. So from a usability standpoint, it's not the greatest solution. After doing a bit of research, I found that I could address both these issues by using a computer control solution rather than a handheld cab solution. The first thing you have to buy is the cable. This is an astonishing £50 odd, but it does at least enable you to use your system with a PC. I should point out that you can buy something like the Sprog 3 if you don't already have a DCC system, which essentially performs the function of the black box part of the Prodigy Express, so it's connecting to the track, transmitting the DCC packets and providing the power. It's much more cost effective. It actually costs only a little bit more than the cable that I bought, and if I hadn't already bought the Prodigy, then I would probably have bought one of these. I then got my hands on a copy of the JMRI software. JMRI, that's a piece of freeware for DCC model railway control, and it's absolutely marvellous. It doesn't require anything sophisticated to run it. This is an ancient IBM idea book running an Intel Atom chip, so it really is not high-end at all, and that works perfectly. One of the features that JMRI provides is wireless throttles. So the screen we've got up there is the wireless server. So if you decide to go down the wireless throttle route, then you can just start up the PC and stick it under the layout somewhere, and then you can do all the control of the layout and your trains from your iPhone, or indeed your Android. There is a version for Android. I've done some screenshots to give you an idea of what it looks like. So you can see the first thing that I like is that you've got labels for the sounds rather than F numbers, assuming you configure it in JMRI first, which means it's much easier to work out which sound it is you're trying to trigger. You get 2 throttles, but you also get both turnout control and route control. The final element of my first layout was points and signals. I only ended up buying one of these Dapol Engage signals. They are fabulous models, but I do have some issues with them. First of all, you need to have some kind of sensor-driven controller for them. I got a very good one from Block Signalling, which works very well. For some reason, they require a 16-volt AC power supply. Well, nothing else on the layout needs that, so you have to have a separate power supply for it, which is annoying. I found, for some reason, one of them just burnt out spontaneously, so I had to buy a second one. And they are quite expensive. It's a significant investment if you want several signals. I plan to use the ratio signal kits, and I'll use a servo and an Arduino to operate and automate it. I'm almost embarrassed to let anybody see this, but the wiring under the baseboard is a complete bugger's muddle. This is what happens if you don't plan what you're trying to do before you start, and start trying to add things on and add things on. Fortunately, it hasn't gone wrong yet, but when it does, I don't think I'm going to be able to sort it out. It's also worth a word about these cobalt points motors. They're very impressive bits of kit. They learn their own addresses, they take power off the track, they provide all the switching for changing the polarity of the frog, and you can run LED signals off them if you want. They're really good, and if you're new to DCC, they're very much plug and play and very simple to install and operate. I do have some issues with them, which I'll just run through. I find that they're rather noisy, and that they don't all, no two seem to move at the same speed. I'll just trigger a route and you'll be able to see what I mean. The other point is that they're quite, well, I won't say expensive, they cost quite a lot to buy. I mean, that's fair enough. The manufacturer or the designer has gone to the trouble of coming up with a design, getting the things manufactured, and it is a very good product. I'm not knocking it in any way, but if you're buying 10 or 12 for a larger layout, it becomes quite a significant expenditure. So one of the things I'm doing is trying to find a cheaper alternative to using that sort of solution. So the challenge I've set myself is to use a couple of these Arduinos to control points and signals and turntables and level crossings and reversing loops and engine shed doors and everything else I can think of in my new layout. I hope you'll join me in episode 2 when I'm going to look at, in broad terms, what an Arduino is, how the different ways that you can use them in model rail layouts, and how I plan to use it in my model railway. Thanks for watching. Bye.